Hey guys, and welcome back to another YouTube video. In this video I'll be doing a quick recap of the Gold Coast versus Adelaide game, going through how Gold Coast in the end held on. If that game went another 5 minutes, Adelaide would have won it. It seems something that's very happens quite a lot for Adelaide as they turn it on in the last quarter of a game and fall just short. So we'll go through all the relevant players and what I'm necessarily thinking. I don't think my current iteration of trades has anyone in this game. I don't think in or out at the moment. Let me just double check that. No one in or out from that from this game. But anyway, before we get into this video, remember to like and subscribe, turn the notification bell on so you know when I upload, and let's get into the video. So as you can see here, Noah Anderson 126, he got away to an absolute flyer, 40-36, had a slow third quarter with a 15, but then backed it up in the fourth with a 35. Then we have Sam Flanders, and I really like the role that Sam Flanders has got. Obviously, it sucks now that he's going to be on the rise. If I quickly just go over here, and you will sort of see the trades that I've thought about there. So it sucks that I can't hold them away, but Sam Flanders now is averaging 105 and yeah, looks really good. 835k does have the Bulldogs with an 80 break even, and he could go 100 against them and gain another. That's really weird. The projected scores, I swear, are so bugged. Like, how does he get a projected score of 74 but then a projected price rise of 2k? Yeah, so I wouldn't look at the projected price rises there for any indication of their price rises. But yeah, Sam Flanders, a guy that I'm going to probably try and target out of the buys. As yeah, he could be a first upgrade target from the likes of if you look down here and you'll see the major changes. Maybe out of the likes of a James Jordan or a Nat Fife or something like that, as another week of James Jordan at 32 break even with a 50 gap. He could actually gain the 30k or whatever that it's projecting at the moment, and 30k gained will get him close, but no, not close enough. And that 5 could do something similar, or we could do an Ollie Wines up to a Sam Flanders, which could actually be a go there, and just stick Sam Flanders in the midfield for the first couple weeks, I guess, until we get another midfielder in there or something like that. But that is a plan that's formulating. You got Raul here as well, 115, 27, 36, 28, 24. He looked great as well. He finally looks to have broken out, and yeah, he looks amazing at the moment. And he's averaging 120 odd, and if he has another good game and then the buy, it could be an interesting thing. That's the same. That's an interesting thing about them with the buy with Flanders. You get 2 weeks more of cash gen out of Flanders, or sorry, not out of Flanders, out of Jordan or 5 for me, and then you can trade them onto Flanders, and by then I would expect Jordan to be 560, 580k, but he does have the buy against, the game against West Coast, so you may want to hold against West Coast, or use other assets to get up to Flanders, so we'll wait and see on that one. Fiorini, 100, not really fancy relevant. Tuke Miller just got 100, not going to be really fancy relevant. Gave away 2 free kicks in the last quarter alone, and lost a tackle as well in the last quarter. 3 free kicks in the last quarter to only get a 13. So I think he's still going to be, if you look at his numbers here, I believe, is that the only free kicks he gave away? Looks like it, the only free kicks he gave away. It looks like he was looking here, only 3 free kicks, so it looks like he's a 108, 110 guy, back-to-back weeks so far. So yeah, he definitely looks to be value, and a guy you could pick up as almost a first upgrade target post-buy. I mean, when do Gold Coast have their buys? Let's just check Sexton fixture list. They have it in 14, that is totally fine. I could honestly go a Wine straight up to Tuke Miller post his buy or something like that. Then you have Will Powell, 86. Don't think he's going to be fantasy relevant, as he's I think put up 2 80 scores, or has it been a 100 and then an 80? Let's actually check that. Defenders. Let's go. Prices. Powell. Let's see, what does he put up? He put up a 106 and then 86. So yeah, I don't think he's going to be fantasy relevant, to be honest with you, given that I think he's going to be slightly inconsistent between sort of that 85 to 105 range. And I think he averages 95, which I don't think will be top 6 for defenders, as I think you need to be almost a pure pure ball user, and I think that role's given to like Sexton, who I don't think will get to the marker that we need from him to be a top 6 defender, obviously. But they sort of have multiple of them, including Buderick, who's down here, who played more of a lockdown this week, and Yuland as well, who's a lockdown as well, that can distribute. So they have sort of 4 or 5 guys, and it's sort of similar to Sydney, where you've got Blakey, Lloyd, Roberts, and stuff like that, and you don't really want to pick any of them as a top 6. So I think Power sort of falls under that same conundrum there, where there's too many of them, so you can't pick any of them. Berry, 84, he's an interesting one. I don't think he's going to be too much fantasy relevant just because he's exploded before us, and is he 338k at the moment? Berry, let's just check that. Berry is currently, if we switch this to all positions, he's currently 378. I think he's already jumped the gun and gotten out away from us, so I wouldn't be picking him up, even though he's got probably like a 10 break even or something. He's got a 13 break even. I think that was just to stand out a game, and if you look at his match stats, the previous week he put up a 41. He could easily return to a 41, and that investment is dead after 1 week. So I'd rather go for a more consistent 70s guy than a guy that's going 40-80, 40-80. Sexton, 67, he was pretty good, doing exactly what we need. And we'll have weeks where he goes 80, 90, etc. He did a 110 or whatever in the practice game, so yeah, I'm not too worried about him. Ballard, Humphreys, Ellis, Swallow, etc., etc. No one else here down here. And then Buderick is basically a trade out. He's a 71 break even, so I would be trading him out. Rory Laird, onto Adelaide. Rory Laird, 119. He looked amazing. Was sort of the game that you expect from him when they're wet conditions. I mean, what did he lay in the end tackle-wise? If we go to Laird, you'll see he laid in the end. He laid 10 tackles. That is exactly what I sort of expected from him in this game. I don't expect him to do it consistently because it was wet conditions, and I think that helped him slightly with the increased stoppages. So I don't expect him to average 119, but I expect him to go sort of around that 110 range, which is sort of what he was at beforehand. Matt Crouch, I think, really got helped out by the increased stoppages, and that's the reason why he got so many touches. I think he ended up with like 33 or 34 disposals. So yeah, 113 from him. If you have Wines, and I wouldn't be pivoting to Crouch because Crouch still has a 69 break even, and I believe Wines only like an 89. But if you potentially need to upgrade him, or maybe you want to flip from a Newcomb to I did say this, and I need to check what Newcomb's break even is, because if Newcomb's break even is like a 120 or something, you might almost want to do it. 122. So you might consider Newcomb to Crouch or something like that. But also you could just maneuver Newcomb up to a set and forget sort of a 900k guy. So Crouch is sort of in that awkward range where he doesn't really have a game-changing break-even of 69, where he could easily just drop an 80 and it sort of deads his break-even. So he's sort of in that awkward price, but I know a lot of people are going to jump on him, and I would probably stay clear. Dawson, 89, he'll get better. It was just not the conditions that you want him in. In dry conditions, he goes 110 there, so I'm not too worried. McElhaney did really well in the wet. Surprised about that, given that he's sort of a medium-tall defender. O'Brien just got a lot of hit-outs. Rankin, Smith, Rochelle picked up 2 or 3 goals, but I'm not too worried about him getting away from us, as he only went +7 on his break-even. Shoal, Hinge, Miller, Worrell, Berry, Keys started really well, and then you can see here that second half of 9. Yeah, that really just did not do anything for him, but he is a small forward now, and his cash gen is just going to fall through the floor. Jones, Murphy, Borlas, no one else here really, and we're waiting sort of on Saligo. Could be one that drops very, very quickly because he's getting a sub-vest, and that'll wreck him this week as well. His break-even is probably like 100, as well as dropping, what's that going to be? Probably 30k, so he's probably 580k with 100 break-even. Let's just check that. Saligo, 575k and a 103 break even. Yeah, he's going to drop even more. I'd suggest another 40k. So he could be a 500k guy if he finally gets out of the vest. And but we need it for cash gen purposes, and there's no cash gen there. It would take him a month to turn that around. And then Gallant as well got injured or something, or just got taken out of the game, it looks. But anyway, that is the video there. very, very quick one, as I just got to get through these recaps. And Gold Coast and Adelaide especially don't really have anyone too relevant. I mean, they've got Crouch, who yes, he's relevant, but I think these were almost the perfect conditions for him. And Laird, I think, had the perfect conditions. And on the Gold Coast side, they head into their bye, so you're not going to really be picking up any of the Gold Coast guys. And so yeah, not really a fancy relevant game at the moment, but will be one to look back on in 2 or 3 weeks when we have Flanders out of his bye and he's got a long stretch of 10 games or whatever that you can pick him up for, which will be a lot more fancy relevant. I think him and Took are the ones that I'd be looking at and targeting, as I think they're a lot more sustainable in their roles. But anyway, that is the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.